Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
We are creating conscious community by sharing mindful manifesting skills and transcendental music.
We are all in this together. We are the ones under the sun, protecting the ones roaming the earth. Loving beings, loving beings. Drinking the water, breathing the air. Drinking the water, breathing the air. Drinking the water, breathing the Strong, brave feet walk on the plain. Feast and famine are provided, a witness again. We are the ones under the sun, protecting the ones roaming the earth. Loving beings, loving beings. Protect them, protect them, protect them, protect them. Protect them, protect them, protect them, protect them. Protect them, protect them, protect them, protect them. Strong, brave feet walk on the plain. Feast and famine are provided, a witness again. We are the ones under the sun, protecting the ones roaming the earth. Loving beings, loving beings. Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
We're your hosts. He is Monte.
She's Jai Lynn.
And together we promote
mindfulness and mental balance and
healthy minds.
Healthy minds. Indeed.
So we hope all y'all out there are doing well this week. Handling the end of October, the beginning of Scorpio, the watery depths, seeking in our soul the truth. What is the truth?
Well, definitely an interesting time in our culture where a lot of us, I don't know, unfortunately don't seem to be seeking the truth, but just believing they know the truth.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like everyone's seeking it, but some people are seeking it in unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
By maybe thinking that certain professionals know the truth, so they just, or certain media personnel know the truth. Or,
so they're just, what you're saying is they're being obedient and just believing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're seeking because there's something feels off, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're all seeking the truth, honestly. But what is the definition of truth?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of different truths out there.
Yeah.
The truth of being present in the moment.
Yeah, that is really...
That's getting down to it.
I mean, no matter how you want to slice it, being present is the most healthy thing we can do. And it's not easy. It's so not easy.
Well,
being
in this
present.
culture, we're trained to not be present in a way.
You were reading me something and somebody was saying that being present, or they were talking about the self-realized being is so rare. And I was like, what do you mean that's rare? And then we talked about that just means present. And then we were talking about, well, maybe when that was written, what was it that you were reading?
Oh, I don't know.
He reads a lot, so.
I mean, I would say
good,
the self-realized being is rare, and it's always been rare. I mean, that's the enlightened being, And of course that's rare.
Okay.
We might taste that.
Well, yeah, that's what it was talking about. Like even just tasting it, just touching it,
Yeah.
And saying that was super rare. And maybe I think it was written back in the 70s, and maybe it was rare then. But I feel like now people are really seeking it, and there's so many, probably millions of people meditating daily, touching that place every once in a while.
Okay.
I think it's not as rare as it used to be.
Yeah, and you don't need to meditate to touch that place either.
Yeah.
Essentially. I mean, you could
could be in a mass fever and touch that place. I mean, seriously.
Or just have that perspective, of being the witness to your thoughts.
Yeah.
And just having clarity.
Totally.
And
but I do want to touch that. Yeah. I am personally on quarantine for being directly exposed. And I feel like it's...
To the vid.
And I think it's such an interesting head game for myself personally, and how I've for those of you who know astrology, I have Pluto goggles. I was born with my sun conjunct Pluto. So I see the darkness. I go to the worst case scenario first. I unfortunately have a very pessimistic view a lot of the time, and I work on that a lot. But I was thinking about the optimistic side of the vid, and how getting a really bad fever can put us in the moment in a way that not very many things can.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, and I am saying this with as much compassion as possible, in some ways this could be good for us, because some people don't meditate and So their opportunity to touch that place is during a mass fever, but when they don't want to look at a screen and they don't, so it's pretty interesting. That came across my mind the other day.
Yeah, well, this whole COVID thing could really play a substantial role in the evolution of our culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Really. I mean, just it'll help people wake up.
It's a definition of evolution. If you think about,
I don't know.
It really is. It's survival of the fittest. It's something we have no control over.
Well, I mean, there's just...
I remember a debate I had with someone last winter, actually, about, I was saying, or you were saying, that we're in the middle of a conscious evolution and that we're consciously evolving our brains. We have so much knowledge and information that we can consciously choose to evolve our brains, which has been studied and shown to be true according to mindfulness.
Right, which means that if you train in mindfulness, you change the physical structure of your brain.
Yeah.
That's what it gets
So that's legit. But I got in this debate with this person who
That's
said
one way to evolve.
Evolution is you cannot choose it, that it is a fluke situation where it's survival of the fittest. And then voila, this year happens, a few months after that conversation. And here we are. There is absolutely no denying that we are in the midst of an active evolutionary period in humanity.
Well, I mean, and part of the evolution is we're learning who to believe and who not to believe.
Right. And it can still be conscious. We can still work with our brain in a conscious way through mindfulness and presence. Well,
and that's the thing. I mean, we can think we have it all figured out and all these theories and concepts in our head, but if we don't find that place of presence, if we don't transcend our thinking, some of the time, then our minds are out of balance.
Right.
And we're not there. We're not in that place of clarity or inspiration. So I mean, part of the struggle nowadays is we have so many theories and so many ideas and so many ways to look at, let's say, the COVID thing. And so many different people have their different philosophies around it. But we have to reach the point of maybe being humble and, don't really know, and have moments of presence as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and just know that if we strengthen our immune system, we're better off. I mean, that's the evolution of it. If we can culturally get to that point of, okay, let's collectively become healthier.
Yeah.
Boom. We're going to evolve.
And on this presence thing, that is another piece that has been studied. What's the word? Empirically studied. I think there's another word for it too. Evidence-based. Evidence-based study on presence and what it does for the body. And it literally, physically changes our body, and what it changes is our DNA, and it changes something on our DNA called telomeres. And the telomeres are like the cap on on a shoestring. You know how when the cap falls off, then the shoestring starts to unravel and you have to cut it or put a knot in it. Well, that is something that we all have on our DNA. And when this is healthy, they say the longer your telomeres are, the healthier you are, the more resilient you are, and the healthier your organs are. Just the functions of your whole being are better when your telomeres are longer. And so they did a study on, what makes the telomeres healthy, what makes them not healthy. And what makes them not healthy is stress. And like you're saying, the constant mind chatter, the continual analyzation, and what lengthens the telomeres is presence. And what is presence? It's like this etheric thing we're talking about. What does it mean to be present?
Well, to me, it means, there's two types of mind activity. One is we analyze things, which is the chattering mind, and the other is presence, where we, in fact, transcend the chattering mind, and the mind is quiet. We're not talking to ourselves anymore. We're just immersed in the moment without analysis of the moment. We're just present. Yeah.
So I've been really diving into this one deep. I know I've touched on telomeres recently, but it's such a big topic. And what I want to know, because I've been working really hard on this, hard isn't the right word, diligently. Mm-hmm. I've been diligently focused on being present during my meditation. And it's such a strange thing to attempt. So I'm not sure if we even know the answer, but my question is, when you are feeling completely, I feel the energy in my body, I feel my being sitting there, I feel my third eye, I feel my heart, I feel all my quote unquote chakra energies, I feel the chi in my body, I generally get warmer, I get more relaxed, but I'm still sitting up.
Yeah.
But there are still the clouds of thoughts that go by. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I wonder is, are those clouds of thoughts part of presence, or are they a part of the distraction to pull me out of presence?
I mean, from my perspective, I would think that clouds of thought is part of the balanced mind. Because you're being present a lot of the time, and then you have a thought. And then you're present for another period of time, and then you have another thought.
And we'll say these periods of time are like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, right. I mean, and if
not
we could
anything amazing.
But if we could maintain that throughout the day, you see, man. But maybe not as much presence as when you're meditating, but just have those little pockets of presence. Because in these pockets of presence, that's where peace lies. Mm-hmm. That's where we can just relax, because we're not analyzing the F out of everything. Mm-hmm. You know, and we're not looking at worst case scenarios, and we're not hating on somebody else, and we're not hating on ourselves, or we're not just.
And what I think is so funny about that money. Is what you're offering is that those moments where we are, okay, so I'm a super busybody. I like to really be busy as much as possible and have myself focused on something because I know myself, and if I don't focus on something, I go to worst case scenarios, especially in this evolutionary time. So sometimes, especially, now in quarantine, we're like, oh, okay, especially me, I can't go anywhere. And so it's really interesting to be healthy and not be able to go anywhere, just waiting for the shoe to drop, and it's and then I get to that place where it could be presence, but I go, oh, I feel kind of bored. But that's like the opportunity right there to be present, right? Is that what you're saying?
I would say, yeah. I mean, but bored presence is more like depression. You see, what we're shooting for is more of an inspired presence, like a vital presence, So how do you shift a bored presence to a vital presence? I would say purpose. Just have living in purpose and purposefully doing things, and then we're more energized and we have more meaning. There's more meaning to our lives at that point, which translates as more inspiration and more vitality.
Okay, I think purpose is a really difficult one for people, and a lot of people struggle with that. Mm-hmm. Have I found my purpose? Am I on my purpose? When will I know my purpose?
Well, in our culture too, it's trained us to feel like all our purposes is to
a career.
Yeah, make money. It doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're making money and you're putting money away and blah, 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 blah.
I think a lot of people don't feel purposeful when that's their only focus.
I agree. And that's part of the beauty of finding more presence in our life is we have more clarity in our thinking, then we're able to actually find our purpose. Mm-hmm. Like we each have some kind of individual purpose. We work with our individual strengths.
Is it individual or is it collective? Because one of the things that works for me when I start, and you know me, I will question my purpose a lot. Mm-hmm. Am I doing the right thing? Am I barking up the wrong tree? That's one of the things I say a lot. Mm-hmm. And what brings me peace is more of a collective purpose, that we're all here to find our spirit. We're all here to move through the illusion of our separateness and move into the oneness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about like the greater purpose, the ultimate purpose.
Well, yeah.
And I guess there's like different levels of purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
Another purpose is what am I going to do in this life?
Right.
I mean, not all of us can be priests and nuns and monks
But I don't think you have to be a priest or a nun. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says that the most rewarding paths are the householder paths, because as a householder, you can still find those pieces, those moments of connection to the higher power.
Yeah.
And in that, you are in your purpose.
Yeah, right. I mean, but being a householder means, having a job. And if
family.
That job lines up with your talents and abilities and helps to collectively make our society a better place, I would say, boom, you're on that purpose. And you're not messing your karma up. Let's face it, if you have a job that's like hurting people, you could be like ruining your karma while you're making money.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings there, because I know there's a lot of jobs and careers that do end up hurting other people, and us as individuals are really just trying to make ends meet. So one thing I think is really neat about this time is the definition of essential and what is essential. And these are, I think, the whole job, career realm is shifting in a really big way, and I know that's really scary for people, especially the people who have been affected in a negative way. So yeah, that's a hard one, and it can be a really slow shift out of once a person realizes that their career is possibly harming whole groups of people.
Yeah, I mean, we each just have to look at our lives and try and figure out how we fit into this puzzle of the evolving collective, really. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we don't have to, but I would argue that that's a wise move.
Yeah.
And, most likely if we're stuck in some job that is harmful, it doesn't feel that good anyway. And like shifting out of that perhaps would be a positive thing.
Right.
Good chance.
But at this time, everyone who has a job is just grateful to have a job, and I feel like I am super, super lucky for my job and working in mental health. I absolutely, I know it's my calling. I don't feel off my purpose at all.
Yeah.
I feel so lucky to have found my way here.
Your job is in line with your dharma.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I could be wrong, because I'm speaking from my own self, and I am here to be in service. But I think everyone is supposed to be in service to others, but I'm not.
Well, that's interesting. Well, and if that's the case, the first step is to stop hating each other.
Yeah,
because that's
it's
not doing any good.
Yeah,
you're not being in service to people if you're like calling them names and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this time we're at right now, everybody, well, not everybody, because there are people like us who are more, and I saw you said something on Facebook like, transcend the right and the left. And I absolutely agree. But for some people, that's just like, oh, do what?
Yeah.
But there are so many people suffering right now going, oh, is my side going to win or not? And if it doesn't, we're screwed. And if you think about that, this 50% of the people think that if the red side doesn't win, we're screwed. And 50% of the people think that if the blue side doesn't win, we're screwed. So I just feel for our culture, and I've been of this mindset that the way forward does not repeat history. And so the past 30 years have been about red and blue, and I just don't see either one of them as a true evolutionary jump by any means. And I don't know what that means other than I am so detached from the whole story.
Well, I'm not as detached, but I do think if we to really make that quantum leap, that evolutionary jump, it's going to boil down to us, how we treat each other, how we treat our neighbors, how we treat ourselves. I mean, and it's less about blue and red. It's more about the energy in our own minds.
Yes.
Collectively.
Totally.
Collectively. If we're going to evolve, that's the way it's going to happen. That's the way it is happening.
Yeah. What comes to mind is love thy enemy. And that's from the Bible. And, you know, the red people got to embrace the blue people, and the blue people got to embrace the red people. And all the people that are on the sidelines who are just kind of watching the show, which there's, I would say, in the millions.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Of people like, this is ridiculous. And I'm one of them. So until that happens, we are just continuing to repeat ourselves.
Yeah, right. I mean, and you look at the people who do most of the name calling and are the most hateful. You better believe that the name calling, when they make a mistake, they call themselves those same names.
Well, I think somebody who is in that place of wanting to name call is already just suffering so deeply.
Big time.
And so,
pointing the finger at somebody else.
Pointing the finger
I'm
everywhere.
suffering because of you and you and you and you and you and you.
Yeah.
Which might be partly true, but taking responsibility for our own internal processes, our own mindscape, that's part of being a grown-up.
Yeah, and our big responsibility is to our response. Response able. We are able to respond in whatever way we want. Yeah. And so just another flash in my mind. And let's see if I can remember their names. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego were thrown in the fire, and they didn't burn because they had faith. So if you have faith, your world will not crumble. It may appear to, but this is an illusion. This whole world is an illusion. This is in the Vedas. It's called the Leela. The play. This is a game. We are playing a game. We are souls. We are spirits. We come down to earth. We manifest into a body. We go about our life, erased our memory. Our memory is erased. And then, the whole life is about remembering our essence. Yeah. So whatever pain we have to go through, it's kind of part of our process of remembering who we are.
Yeah, and moving forward. I mean, and not making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, hopefully, right? That's kind of the point of our attempt on this earth, is to stop repeating our own patterns. Right, and I like
I like what you said earlier about love your enemy, because that's the vibe that needs to really that compassionate vibe needs to take hold, because the energy right now for a lot of folks is somebody calls me a name, I'm going to call them a name. There's no compassion.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah. And
Eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
Let's just find compassion for each other and ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you start looking at your own mistakes that you've made throughout your life and are able to, delve into forgiveness a bit. Oh, I forgive myself. I'm a flawed human.
Mm-hmm.
And then that philosophy will apply to other people. Oh, that person is making a mistake. They're a flawed human as well.
Mm-hmm.
I forgive them. What the heck?
Yeah, and that's the self-realized person that is rare.
Well,
we can touch on it.
Yeah.
And the more we touch on it, the more we train ourselves to touch on it. It's like, okay, I know that if I forgive that person that I have deemed this evil person, if I can forgive them, then that's going to help me get closer to my own essence.
Oh, yeah.
Will you do it?
That's a great way of looking at it. So is it possible to be compassionate towards everyone?
I mean, yeah, if you look at restorative justice, restorative justice is a way of dealing with criminals.
I mean, so is it possible in your own mind to forgive
everyone?
Yeah.
I do struggle. I do struggle. I'm not a self-realized being. I'm on my way. Maybe someday. With that too. But yeah, there's
some people just get under your skin. You're just like,
Yeah, there's a few people who have hurt me to the place where I haven't been able to forgive them yet.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That being said, we're trying to launch the Church of the Healthy Mind.
Yeah, this is something that we've talked about for well over a year.
Yeah.
Not the name. We didn't know the name. Monte just hatched that one
this last week.
But do you want to tell the story of?
I mean, I'll say we have a Facebook page if you want to find us. Church of the Healthy Mind.
Yeah, it's a group.
Yeah, it's a group.
If you there is a page, but it's not very active. Yeah. The group is pretty active, and we're sharing with the group, and the group is sharing with us.
And we're just going to run with this idea for a while. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in it.
So if you want to interact with us and a group of people who are actively trying to heal their minds and reach their spirits, then that would be a good place to go.
And that is the bottom line. If our minds are healthy and we have like that balance and the periodic moments of peace of mind, we're much more able to hook into our intuition, for example, and that comes from the spirit. I would argue the intuition does. But if our mind is just wildly spinning constantly, our intuition is shot.
Yeah,
I think, and so we're all, at least all of us in the group Church of the Healthy Mind, we're trying to find more peace and connect more fully with the higher power through working with our own minds.
Yeah. I love it.
Training.
Yeah, so that's our little tip for the week. So if you feel that resonates with you, you can join us on Church of the Healthy Mind Facebook group. We're working on all the rest of it. We'll probably be launching. We looked into. We're studying, researching how to start a church, and we're looking at a 6-month launch period. So we'll talk about it periodically. If you're interested, follow that group, and you'll get to know what's going on.
Evolving feels good.
It does. And with that, I want to share the next song that we're going to play. Is called Chattr Chakkr Varti. Chattr Chakkr is the name of it. And I'll say it somewhat slowly first. Chattr Chakkr Varti. Chattr Chakkr Bhugate. Suyambhav Subang sarabada sarabajugate. Dukalang pranasi dayalang sarupe sadaanga sange abangang bibute. So this is the transliteration. This is a mantra from the Jap Sahib, which is the Gurmukhi text for the Sikh religion. Thou art pervading in all directions, in all four directions, the enjoyer in all the four directions. Thou art self-illumined and united with all. Destroyer of bad times, embodiment of mercy, thou art ever within us. Thou art the everlasting giver of undestroyable power. These are the last four lines of the Guru Gobind Singh Jap Sahib. This mantra removes fear, anxiety, depression, and phobias, and brings victory. It instills courage and fearlessness into the fiber of the person. It gives control over one's domain, self-command, and self-grace. Recite this when your position is endangered, when your authoritative personality is weak. So I've been playing with this mantra for a while. It definitely does help when I'm feeling weak and when I'm feeling fearful. So if you would like to learn more about that mantra, you can go to spiritvoyage.com and look up in the Mantrapedia Chattr, and you'll find it. So for now, have a blessed week. Enjoy this chant. And if you want to connect with us more deeply, go to Church of the Healthy Mind Facebook group. Peace, y'all. Chakravarti, Chakkr Bhugate, Suyamba Subang, Sarabada Sarabajugate, Dukalang Pranasi, Dayalang Sarupe, Sadaanga Sange, Abangang Bibute. Chakravarti, Chakkr Bhugate, Suyamba Subang, Sarabada Sarabajugate, Dukalang Pranasi, Dayalang Sarupe, Sadaanga Sange, Abangang Bibute. Chakravarti, Chakkr Bhugate, Suyamba Subam, Sarabada Sarabajugate, Dukalang Pranasi, Dayalang Sarupe, Sadaanga Sange, Abangang Bibute. Chakravarti, Chakkr Bhagate Suyambha Subhang Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalang Pranasi Deyalang Sarupe Sadanga Sange Avangang Vibhute. That which was never born and will never die, that which created this world that we enjoy, that we grow through, here where we learn to be human, to be friends, to love, to forgive, to grow and nurture. Let us be brave. Let us have courage. Let us connect with this unborn, undying energy that flows through us, that created us. Let us be. Chattr Chakravarti Chattr Chakkr Bhagate Suyambha Subhang Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalang Pranasi Deyalang Sarupe Devamba. May we be blessed. May we bless each other. We got this. Thank you for your presence. You've been listening to Mindflow Radio. You can support Mindflow Radio on Patreon and get exclusive content access. Big gratitude to Lotus Head for their mindful music, keeping us in the flow. A shout out to our sponsors, Integrated Mindfulness Institute. Online, visit www.imi.earth. For ideas, questions, or comments, contact us by email, connect@imi.earth. Many blessings on our health and peaceful evolution. We are all in this together.